Hey guys, welcome back to another League Racing Highlights video. Tonight it is PSGL round who knows what, and we're back in Brazil actually. If you guys find a bit similar, it's because, yes, we've already raced Brazil, I believe, the first round, but we had to come back to it due to a glitch in Bahrain where there is a curb, I believe in turn 4, on the exit of turn 4, where it would just shoot your car up in the air, and it's basically unraceable at the moment, Bahrain, until they fix it. It's been like that for quite some time now actually, so I'm surprised they haven't fixed it yet, but what can you do? Unfortunately, I personally don't really like coming back to the same track again, in the same league. I feel like it's much more entertaining to you guys, and also for me personally, to drive a new track, say something like Baku, something like Singapore, I don't know, just do something new instead of coming back to the same track again. I really was not a fan of doing this again, and it seems like that's gonna be the case again, well, in the future, that we're gonna do the same tracks and we're not gonna really branch out, because most people, there was a vote and most drivers voted to keep the same track, so I don't even understand, like there's just no more enjoyment in league racing anymore. It's just a pure data farming session for every team. And I remember when I used to start league racing, it was just more about the fun and the racing itself, and now it's just pure data farming, trying to get people penalties, stewards room.
I was such a
just
oh
I don't know.
God.
Yeah. Anyway, this end of Q1, I went out twice actually, which I shouldn't have, but I was a bit scared that I wasn't gonna make it through on one set of tires, so I did go out twice. And here we are in Q2 on my first set of new tires, so you can see the Delta 4/10 up. Decent lap so far. We're gonna cross the line. What we're gonna do, a 6.225. It's a decent lap. It's a pretty good lap. Thomas actually goes P1 with a 1.5 or 1.49. So he did a really good lap. He should be easily through. But we're now gonna go out again, because honestly, I don't know why, but I thought this wasn't gonna be enough. Actually, I do know why. It's because I didn't think a 2.25 would be enough, and I had to go out again to try to improve just a little bit. I think if I get into the ones, I should be pretty safe. But because the gaps here are absolutely crazy. And also, I forgot to mention, in Q1, Jarno didn't make it past Q1. I think he just had a few mistakes in his lap. Wasn't a clean session, I guess. And yeah, he's out in Q1, so huge surprise there. But yeah, now focus in Q2, as we're now dropping down the order, as you can see on the top left, down to 6th place. But we are more than a 10th up now, and we've done a pretty good lap so far. This should easily put us P1 with a 0.0, just beating Isma's 1.0, I believe. So yeah, I got told to pit at the end, but it was a bit too late.
Yeah.
I just wasn't safe mathematically yet. But yeah, this is the end of Q2. Otis is out in Q2, another big name. Another big surprise exit there. So yeah, I don't know. I think he invalidated his last run. So yeah, so his first banker was not enough.
What a bad lap.
Yeah, first lap on the used set of tires, not that good, not very useful anyway. And as you can see, we have now done a 2 out laps, a double out lap for this last run in Q3, but we missed Apex in turn 1, and we're actually down on my used set into sector 1. Yeah, most people were doing double out laps every single lap of the session for less fuel and having a lighter car. It is a bit quicker, from what I know, but I really did not care or bother to do a double out lap until the very end here in Q3, just to see what I could do. But honestly, I didn't really like the feeling of the car, maybe because it was a bit more stable than I was used to. But yeah, we're now 2.5 tenths up, going around the last corner of sector 2. Actually, no, this is the last corner of sector 2. Excuse me. We do a 0.300 split. It's an okay split, but This is not going to be pole position. Thomas Ronhard did a .998 as his first banker run, which is really good. We're going to get really close to it, but not quite. We're going to do a 0.26 and we will be in second position. Now, at this point, I didn't expect to be P2 with a 0.2, but I guess everybody did a worse lap than me.
20 milliseconds away from my PB?
Yeah, that was very close to my PB, as I said.
Yeah, yes.
We started P2 behind Thomas, who actually didn't improve in the last run. Alvaro, yeah, got P3, so very good qualifying by him. Yeah.
What? 0, 5, 0, 5, 10, 15, 30. Man, we need to go hard. We need to start hard. You know what?
We have a very weird weather forecast for this race. And as you can see, this is going to shake a lot of things up. Thomas is starting first on the medium, and myself and Alvaro on the hard. Thankfully, the car behind me decided to go hards as well, because I was scared that if I was going to start hards, I was going to get eaten alive in the first few laps. But having Alvaro there really saved my butt, I believe.
Push the gap.
Yeah, so Thomas, of course, seeing this, is going to try and push to create a gap to us. But yeah, I think there's a few scenarios that could potentially happen here. The weather forecast says 30 minutes. The 30-minute mark is going to be inters. So the worst case scenario, like lap 25-ish, 26-ish, is going to be inters. That is as late as it could be. So with that information, obviously, if that's as late as it can be, and I could potentially save the tires enough to make it that far, it just made sense to go hards. Like optimal scenario is the rain comes between lap 16 and 20. That would be very good for us hard runners. I believe there's like 8 or 9 of us actually, so quite a bit of people decided to go on the hard tires. But also a lot of people decided to go on the medium, which I don't really understand, because if you were unsure if you were going to make it to the wets, to the inters without pitting, why not just do hard? Because the hard is a better race tire almost from the get-go. I'm not going to say lap 1 and lap 2, but
that was a lot of tire wear.
From lap 3, 4 onwards, it starts to become a better tire. So I don't understand why people wouldn't just go hard, or start on hards, and if they have to pit, then they can just do a hard, which is just better. But I guess people maybe wanted the mediums to start with to maybe get a position or two, because they committed to the one stop before the rain already, I guess. So they said, okay, let's just put the medium for the faster tire for the first 2 laps and then pit very, very early on. So I guess I can see that as well. But in my head, it just made sense to start hards. But yeah, here thankfully, as you can see, we just about kept the DRS to Thomas Ronhard. So from now on, we are gonna save tires like crazy, because again, we have no clue exactly when the rain's coming, and it could be lap 25-ish, and that means you need to have a tire wear of 3% a lap, give or take. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm doing so much today. Give or take 3% a lap. And on my first lap, I had 6% from pushing and from the start. So yeah, we need to save a lot. But here we are, on to lap 7, lap 8. People have already started pitting, as you can see on the minimap. A lot of people pitted, and Thomas will now pit from the lead. And it is now only us on the hard runners left, except Jake Benham, which I think is on the medium. But here I say, like, we were still debating if we had to pit again to the hard, but here I'm pretty confident myself that we're gonna stick it out to the wets, and that means saving tires like crazy. But look how far the train is on the minimap. That kicks Sauber, of course. Thomas Ronhard is the leading net leader, technically. And he's still pretty far away, and we're on lap 13, so just keep an eye on
they're not gonna catch that fast.
on this gap.
Their tires a lot.
Yeah, as I'm saying here, we are saving, like, we're doing 3 to 3.5% a lap, and I'm sure the Thomas and the leaders there pushing are doing 5 or more, maybe even 6 if they're crazy pushing. So their tires will get much worse, much quicker. But will they have enough tires to catch up to us and pass us before the rain hits? Yeah, that is the question. So I believe Bari, yeah, he's now
Okay,
P4,
so
and he
15
started
minutes
towards
from now. How many laps is
the
that? 13?
end of the back end of the top 10. So I guess he did a good strategy as well. Ulas in P3, Freddy also starting on the arts. So the Red Bull's
Okay,
not
but
really
that-
having the
so-
greatest
Yeah, but I'm saying.
weekend so far.
Worst case scenario is lap 25 that we have to go to.
So
it
yeah, here
takes
I'm talking to the engineer quite a lot, but as you can see, we're gonna skip to lap 20, and Thomas has made his way through the pack very quickly and quicker than I expected. But as you can see on my screen, it's raining. It started to rain, so this is make or break. Can we keep him behind? If
Less grip
so,
already.
our strategy has paid off.
A lot
If
less
not,
grip already.
the strategies have been pretty equal, I would say. But I say equal, but I think Thomas just really did a really good job on the strategy he was on, because the other people that did a one stop actually lost some net places in the race. So I think Thomas just played it better than the rest of them. And yeah, we're here on lap 20, and it's now or never. Can we keep him behind? I'm gonna keep. Well, I don't know if I can go for the move. I'm gonna try to, but I'm sure Alvaro is using all his ERS to defend from Thomas as well. Yeah, I can already tell that Thomas is very low on the wings, and it was catching me on the straight. But Alvaro goes very deep, and here I'm scared he's gonna bump into me.
Oh shit.
But he actually decides to cut the corner, and I get the DRS, and we go down the inside and pass him. And unfortunately for Alvaro, that means he is P3, as we're not going to defend into turn 4 here. A little bit of RG. But yeah, he was never going to get past there. And we keep the position for now. Will he try in the middle sector? Potentially.
Lap, right?
He has much fresher tires, but it's getting very wet. Like, the grip is just disintegrating. And I'm above 70%, I guess, at this point of tire wear. So, yeah.
Are we losing?
Yeah, I've been talking to an engineer almost every lap of the race, because the weather was so. I don't even know how to say it in English. Aléatoire, or I don't know. But anyway, it was very random. So, yeah, that's why there was a lot of communication. But anyway, yeah, we're not going to pit onto the end of lap 21. Some people already pitted lap 20, I believe, because they don't want to double stack on lap 21. So that was the correct move. But that's going to give them a lot more tire wear, because the track was essentially still not dry, but like on the dry side, giving them a lot more tire wear.
So much
and tire temp.
Come back in, I don't know.
But yeah, into the pits now. Can we come out of the people that underpitted? Whoa, undercutted. Yeah, underpitted is crazy. But anyway, yeah. Ulas is in turn 1 now. Can we stay ahead? There is no grip here on the pit exit. But it looks like we will just about stay ahead. And that is huge. I am now the net leader of this race. And on fresher tires than Ulas. So, yeah, some people are still out on the hards, which I'm not too sure why. Or yeah, that's the problem. That was definitely a mistake. But if you guys remember from the weather forecast, it said it was going to dry up at the end again. And when that happens and you're on inter tires, the tire temps and the tire wear skyrockets, like goes through the roof. So even though it may seem like we can make it easily to the end on this tire wear here, the tire wear is going to become so much higher at the end. So we have to make sure we nurse the tires home the whole way. But as you can see behind us, they are fighting so hard. And I've created a gap of 2 seconds already. This is enormous for me. Like, it's a walk in the park, basically. Well, not actually, but at this level, 2 seconds is so much. And it looks like it's just growing more and more. We're now up to 2.3 seconds. And I think there's just a big squabble behind with Thomas, Ulas, and Alvaro. And this is working so good for us. But you saw Ulas actually caught up so much on the straight. I believe I just have a lot more downforce than everyone. Yeah, it just looks like I made the right setup choice by going more towards the wet side. Obviously, it's still a dry setup, but I put a lot more downforce than I would normally in the dry. And it's paying dividends. The gap is up to 2.6 now. To Ulas 2.7, but Jake Benham is still out on slick tires. I've been told by him afterwards that he thought it was gonna stop raining very quickly and he was convinced he was gonna win the race. So I'm not too sure what happened there in the engineering team in McLaren, but it absolutely was not gonna stop raining. But yeah, here I'm questioning why Ulas is struggling, and I think it's just pace. I don't know, like my wing was just much higher, because I already knew that from the dry. And as you can see, I skipped up 25. The gap is up to 6.2 seconds. Like, this doesn't happen often. If ever, maybe once a season, if that actually. And we now just have a huge gap. And from now on, I'm just saving tires, like fully saving my tires, saving my engine, my tire temps, because it will dry up, and I just need to make sure that everything goes smoothly. I don't want to get a random puncture at the end and lose the win. As you can see, skipping on to lap 31, the gap to Ulas got even bigger. I think Ulas was just struggling, but he could defend so well because of his low wings. Thankfully for Alvaro that he managed to get past, because then he managed to gap and to get rid of him. But yeah, I think now we're just saving tires, and he's actually starting to catch up to us, because I do think, well, being on the lower wing now, he's going to have much more grip and much more straight line speed. He's going to struggle much less. So yeah, we're now going to cruise home. And the tire wear, I believe, was actually above 60% towards the end. So the tire wear actually did went up quite a lot, because it did stop raining the last few laps. And Thomas Runner actually decided to pit on lap 33 to try and go for the soft tires. But that was just the wrong call. There was no grip. He was not gaining anything.
But how am I using the tire so much?
Yeah,
I set up making the tire GG.
Yeah, I don't know. Here I'm just looking at my tire wear, and I just felt like it was higher than it should have been, because I was trying to save so much, and it just really wasn't. So yeah. Anyway, end of the race. We are gonna cross the line in P1 with a 4.8 second advantage to P2 and 7.6 second advantage to P3. That was, yeah, what a race. I mean, I wasn't even really supposed to race until 24 hours before. I've been working and doing other stuff, so I didn't really have much practice. But
I even lifted
Brazil is just one of those tracks that I always love driving, and that's why I decided to race. And thank goodness I decided to race, because look at the race that happened. I mean, yeah, it was, strategy was perfect, driving was clean, no mistakes. Jarno still finished in the top 10 with myself, Alvaro, and Ulas in top 3, but I do believe Ulas got penalties afterwards. So yeah, I think actually Barry got podium in the end, so good job to Barry. Freddy also got a pen. But yeah, this is it. Thank you guys for watching. 2 days race. I hope you guys liked it just as much as I did. I'll see you guys into the next one, and goodbye.